the stone beneath my feet, where the demons fester and pray for our defeat. I see smoke on the hot wind shimmer, souls unrestrained in desperate need of a final hellfire to burn the past and set them free. Through the fear, through the heart that's broken, our world lies in wait for me. Every tear, every scar left open. This is the taming of the beast. Oh, in this war you started. Oh, stitch this wound with bloodshed. You are my wicked victory. Draw me to the light. Let the curse be lifted. We can rise above the roar with the bite of every devil we've held before. Drown them out. Let the fog give way to clarity. There is power in the strain of every drop I bleed. I am the venom and the cure. Take me through the fear, through the heart that's broken. Our world lies in wait for me. Every tear, every scar left open. This is the taming of the beast. Oh, in this war you started. I'll stitch this wound with bloodshed. You are my wicked victory. Victory! Pain subsides, sins unpunished, made pure beneath the knife. Friends and sisters, the great divide. We seal our future in a place of white. Through the fear, through the heart that's broken. Every tear, every scar left open. This is the taming of the beast. Oh, in this war you started. I'll stitch this wound with bloodshed. You are my wicked victory.
What's up, everybody? Good morning, good morning. How you all doing today? Leftover tacos. That sounds good, actually. Still alive, barely. I feel you. Your plushie order? Which plushie did you get? Did you get a bean? Hello. Trying to find the link for this chapter 16 thing real quick. Hold on. Before I change screens. I think I found it. Yeah, I think I found it. Oh, okay. How'd you manage that, Panda? Okay, let me close Discord so we don't have any slips. Is the extended one? Yep. Okay, cool. So this will be on for a while. Oh, okay. That's sick. What's up, Bomb Frost? What's up, Magian? What are we doing today? Okay, so this ain't gonna be anything too crazy, right? We're just gonna talk about a few things. There's a new chapter already about to be released for Arknights and CN, so I wanted to see the trailer for that. There's also new information about well, I'm pretty sure everybody has seen it already, but there's a little bit more information towards what this is. So I just kind of did as much research as I could. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about that. And yeah, I guess just talk about Arknights for a little bit. Leak. No. See, there's no leaks. I'm not gonna do no leaks. I'm being careful. I'm being super careful. But there has been news. So got that PTSD from Kuro. Bro, if you guys only knew. If you guys only knew the whole story. $1 million yuan going for leaks. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. It's more so me being me having respect for the company. That's all it is. Yeah, I haven't told the whole story. All I'm gonna say is I was protecting an employee. That's all I was saying. That's all I'm gonna say. But I'm gonna leave it alone. Looking forward to your reaction to chapter 16. I don't really know what to expect after what happened. After what happened at the end of chapter 15. It's kind of like in my head, like, where do we go from here? Like, what's next? Like, we know they're on a search to bring back Chaotik, right? But they're not going to do that right away. That would just defeat the entire like weight that they lifted onto your shoulders, right? So I don't think they're going to do that anytime soon. If anything, they'd be smart to save that for like a conclusion to an arc. Unless they do it in like some crazy way, but I just don't know what to expect. Yeah, there's just so much that happened, dude. Imagine Chaotik altar, dude. That is actually a perfect opportunity. That is actually a perfect opportunity and excuse to make an altar for a character. Like bringing back Chaotik, but she's not the same exact Chaotik as she was before. Way too hyped for chapter 16. It's, bro, it's more so impatience than being hyped, because I know every 6 months this is gonna happen. Chaotik amnesia too? No, I don't think so. To be honest, just let Chaotik go. But I don't wanna. Stay by my side forever. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at this new we're gonna take a look at the new chapter for Arknights first. I already have it pulled up here. I don't have any English subtitles or anything like that. We're just going to watch it completely unsubbed, just to see what's here. I've already seen a picture that someone dropped. It's something about what's her name, Mantra. Is it my first time seeing it? Yeah, I waited till streaming. I waited to stream. I waited to stream. Yeah, unsub to be safe. Yeah. I did like, I was scrolling on Twitter and happened to see the image of Mantra, but that's literally all I know. It's something to do with Mantra. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this. In the anime, she appeared. Who? Mantra? Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this. And yeah, let's please have something, because I don't know where we go next after chapter 15. It was just such a fantastic chapter. It's such a fantastic chapter. Where's the sound? Okay, I think this is fair. See, kind of curious on what it's saying. Was that a... They did say we were going to Ursus, right? At the end, they did say we were going to Ursus, right? Oh shit.
为了能活下去，所有人都是如此的努力。
这里很暖和。
离开的人
There
让
she
我们
is.
连接起
Mantra.
过去与现在，在这之
There
后
she is.
我们才拥有未来。
This has like a very eerie feel to it. Abnormal spectrum. Yeah, you can see Doctor, Monster. Yeah, this is kind of eerie feeling. Are we going back to Ursus like they said in the at the end of the chapter? Hmm. What's up, Baki? Yeah, so we're so they were mining something and it had some sort of fluid involved in it too. It's just kind of, this gives like a very what's the word? This is giving a very eerie, not supernatural, but haunting feeling. Originium mine collapses research. I would say it was oil if they didn't have it in a tube and it was like moving and shit. Yeah, that's originium. That's obvious. That, like, this is sus. I believe that fluid is collapsal related. Like all the miners and stuff. Yeah, this gives a very haunting. This gives a very haunting feeling.
为了能活下去，所有人都是如此的努力。
这里很暖和。
离开的人让我们连接起过去与现在，在这之后我们才拥有未
Well,
来。
I guess we're going on another arc of me doing story for stuff. What are the required chapters that I need to know in order to be prepared for chapter 16, chat? I need Seaborn events. Like the Aegir stuff? Some Sammy lore, the Typhon event, and some IS4 lore. Oh, I might need some help for this one. Seaborn have nothing to do with this, lol. Okay. It's good that the Seaborn have nothing to do with this because I kind of want to read the Seaborn lore to myself. That's a whole nother thing that I've wanted to dive into, but I don't want to stream it because if I stream it, it's going to take me too long. I just want to read through it and just put the pieces together myself. It's the Typhon and Sammy lore, and then Baki also said IS4, so okay, cool. Thanks, Baki. Fun fact, the license plate on the Urzdrug is an IRL Russian license plate of the region of Psychov, which is on the border of Estonia, near Finland, very west. It's a real why wait. Is there like a reason they're doing that? Never mind. It's Arknights. There's a reason they're doing everything. That's a dumb question. Chernobyl is very east. I mean, damn. Okay. Well, this is going to be interesting. I'm just curious on how they're going to build upon because now a lot of the questions that I have been asking for a long time have finally been answered, or like why the characters look this way, how are they related to Priestess and the freaking all of these questions that have been coming up over a while, talking to Baki and Komi and some of you guys have kind of just been answered but left in limbo. So now it's just, what are they building on now? And what's the purpose? Why so serious? I just woke up, man. I just woke up. I think there's dev news or something, but it seems Radiant's squad is missing in Ursus, so we're here. Okay, so this has something to do with Radiant again. Radiant's squad is missing after that. After that big cooperation we all did together to save we failed at saving Rhodes Island, which is why we're rebuilding. But that huge cooperation that we did, now Radiant's missing. Radiant and her squad, yeah. She was once an Ursus interrogator. Yeah, I don't know what they're cooking, but it smells good. The thing is, they do this thing, right? And I'm going to admit this to you guys. Like, they do this thing where you have, like, no idea where the story is going. Like, I'm cute, clueless, right? And going into every chapter, I don't expect anything, right? And just at some point in the chapter, things just start getting really fucking good. So it's like they have some I don't know. I'm eager to we need to catch up, dude. I'm tired of chapters coming out CN first. We need some way of catching up. Rhodes Island is solving every problem because by the prosecutor WMD project. What? I can't stand the spoilers. I do a very good job at dodging spoilers. I think I've done a fantastic job. The only thing so far is when you see characters revealed, there's no avoiding that you're going to see. Oh, the precursor race, doctor's race. Okay. Let me read that again. Solving every... Rhodes Island is solving every problem by the precursor WMD project. I think I got confused at the WMD part. Not so much precursor. Right now, I think I understand what's going on with the precursor race and how they were avoiding, I guess, extinction by the observers. Yeah. I think I'm understanding majority of what's going on. Minus like the key plot points of stories I haven't read yet. Except for when he pulls out the frostbite videos. Well, all it does is reveal what the boss looks like. I never really learn anything from it. It just takes away the reveal of what the boss looks like. As long as they don't show me any mechanics, I think I'm pretty clear, right? I'm still incredibly proud of myself for the for figuring out how to defeat that boss at the end of chapter 15. Okay, I got a question, chat, because you guys are oh shit. We didn't see the skins. Okay, we'll look at the skins in a second. I got a question, chat. Where do I find out about the observers? What chapters do I need to read to find out more about the observers and the precursor race? Lone Trail, I've already read that one. I'm talking like, is that really all we have? Rhine Lab and Seaborn. Is that all we have? So we still don't really know too much. Yeah, I did read it. There's some stuff in the how do you say this guy's name? Plan? Observers are extremely vague even to this day. So they still haven't even touched on it. Oh, is that an I? Hold on, let me get my glasses. Opianus? Opianus? Shut up. Shut up. The way you just spelled it looks like... Never mind. Did you read Path of Life, though? See? Okay. That's Seaborn stuff, right? And Ager stuff, right? We were gonna watch that today, FVA. I've already started it, but I'm gonna watch the rest of it on stream. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at the rest of this, and then we're gonna watch the we're gonna watch that video. Cause I think I think everything he was talking about is very important to, and because I don't really know what's going on in these storylines. That's right, the skins. Is that Narantuya in a Halloween nurse skin? Is that Narantuya in a Halloween nurse skin? That's a day one purchase, okay? That's a day one purchase. Please don't have another good one. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, cool. Now there's more. Okay, cool. Oh, she gets a new module too. Do we know what this does? Of course we don't. It's not out in CN yet. Okay. Brother, that's a day one purchase on the skin. That's a day one purchase. I'm gonna wait for you guys to get the module before I start thinking of trying to do that shit, because modules God dang. All right. So I started watching Bro's video yesterday. I made it like maybe halfway through before having to go get something to eat. There it is.
Found that the Sarkars
Yeah, see, I made it 19 minutes and it was 44 minutes. So we're going to watch this whole thing because we must focus, brother. Nah. You must focus. I have a weakness. I have a type. I'm 100% okay with this. I'll succumb to the darkness, okay? All right, so you weeb, shut up.
Even now, I'm still genuinely surprised this collab.
I'm pretty sure this, I saw that this has spoilers in it. I'm gonna be honest with you. For this one, I'm not gonna care. Whatever he ends up talking about, he ends up talking about. I'll get more of the lore when I dive into it myself. So we're just gonna watch the whole thing. If I have questions, please just don't answer them until we get into the point where I actually start reading, because that is when things start connecting. And I don't want to ruin that part of the experience. But this talks about the Limbus collab. And I want to, since I don't play Limbus Company and I have no intention of going through all of that, I'm going to just let this rock. Cool? Cool.
Happened. Like, I read all the Arknights stories related to this event to prepare for it, played through it again, and yet I'm still a little shocked this came to be. Because Arknights is legitimately one of my favorite games of all times. Not one of my favorite gachas, nah, favorite games. I think it's a masterpiece.
I think I feel the same way, and I'm not even all the way caught up. I think I feel the same way, and I'm not even caught up. In an environment when a lot of games feel the same, a lot of them are plagued with here's the best way of building and here's the most optimal way of doing this. Like, I think this is the only game that's still giving me that same feeling of that rush of discovery. So I think I agree with that statement. That's a crazy statement, but I agree with it.
For almost 5 years before I even got into making videos, collab with a series I've been playing for, at this point 4 years. Literally feels like I have used all of my luck to manifest this, and because of that, in the next 8 days, the plane's gonna crash into my home and obliterate me.
Don't do that to yourself, bro.
But because I've been playing these games for so long, there's a lot for me to explain when it comes to the lore of this event. Because no exaggeration, the difference in this event story to people who know the lore of Arknights compared to those who don't is massive. People who don't know the lore will likely view this as an interesting collab story that gave some hints of further developments in the story and was done in such a way to where people who are only vaguely familiar with either game can enjoy it. But if you know Arknights lore, unironically, this event has some of the most important lines to answer the main question the entire story is built around. Now, if you know absolutely nothing about Arknights lore, you probably think I am crazy.
I think I've sold. I know this is kind of irrelevant, but it's just I kind of feel like I need to say this. I think I've sold a good 5 or 6 people since Anime Expo on trying Arknights, and about 3 of them are still playing. About 3 of them are still playing the game, and each one of those people addicted. Absolutely addicted. And and those people don't play gacha games, and those people also have no idea Enfield's coming. So they're just playing the game just to be playing the game.
after saying that. Because at the end of the day, the Seaborn, what this event is centered around, ain't even like a main story thing, bro, they're a side event. So then the question is, how is this event so important for Arknights lore, yet someone who doesn't really know it can still enjoy it? How can those two coexist? Well, the short answer is, PM has a go-to team of writers. The long answer is the rest of this video. Because when it comes to Arknights, the best part to me is the world building, but when it comes to explaining the game's story or introducing people to it, that's also in a sense its greatest hindrance. Arknights' world building is so interconnected to where if I wanted to talk about something that's happened in the plot of one area, I'll more than likely need to bring up something else within the story as context.
And I think this is where I actually sell the game so well, because what I actually tell people is I start off by saying it's a rough start. So if you start and you give up at the very beginning, you're never going to see why it's so great. But this story is a story within stories with a greater story on top of it. It's very important that you play through various stories so you can get the context of the main story. That is the hardest part of the entire game. But if you've ever read a good book and you've enjoyed that good book from front to back, but you just wish they provided more context of things that were going on in the world, this is that, plus the context of the world around, because the world is a huge part of the story. You have conflicts of war going on between nations. You have a main group who is struggling to not only protect the people that they love, but also find out secrets of the main character's past. You have an underlying story of this. I wouldn't even say it's underlining. This is an overarching story. This is the basis of the entire thing, of an old ancient race who pretty much gave birth to what we know as the races that exist in this world today, who are going through these conflicts between different nations. And you're still figuring out what happened to the race that started everything, as well as what's going on the bottom, on the ground where everyone is suffering. Like, the story is literally the best storytelling in any gacha game that you can possibly talk about right now, in my opinion. But it rivals some of the best games I've ever played in terms of storytelling. And then you got the actual combat aspect of it too. The game is literally top tier in every facet. If you're a gacha player, you get enough currency to make sure you can get the next character. All you got to do is keep up. If you're someone who just enjoys story, you have that, and you have loads of it. Especially if you're starting now, you have loads of it. If you are looking for good gameplay, this game will challenge you. What you put into it is what you get out of it. If you just want to play meta units, it's going to be easier for you, but you'll get that enjoyment of the meta units that you play. If you sit here and use the other units that aren't meta units, you'll get that challenge you're looking for. It's there. This is a fantastic game.
That is what makes the world building feel real, but maybe it's a little too real because the rest of this video is dedicated mostly to explaining Arknights lore, as there's just that much lore to properly and fully explain why this event hits harder when you know the lore. Now, I am going to break down the egos and why they're near perfect matches for each of the sinners, but the rest of this video is going to be about Arknights' lore, because I think this event was made with utter love for its story. And sure enough, my thoughts on that were confirmed when Ji-hoon, the CEO of Project Moon and director of Olympus Company, whipped out his Arknights account on stream and showed how developed it is.
This blew my mind when he
I'ma say
explained
it.
what this was.
This
Like, I've
event came
seen
to
this
be
picture.
because they love Arknights. So much to where it perfectly encapsulates what the story is about, and I want to explain
Bruh's
that
a
to anyone who
fucking
doesn't
whale.
know the lore. And on the other side, I want to explain what this collab has done that's important for Arknights' lore for the Arknights players who haven't touched Limbus Company. And there are going to be spoilers, however, I will mark them out for which episodes/events they spoil and where to skip in the video to avoid them. Though, I won't lie, most of the video will be spoilers. It's hard to explain what the story is built around without doing that. And when it comes to spoilers, here's something I want to say that I don't think you need to follow it, but I do wish to get my thoughts out there. And it's that I love Arknights' story, but it's rough to get into, especially when you go from Limbus. In Limbus, the stories are mostly voice acted and are relatively quick to get through. In Arknights, there's no voice acting in the story aside from really rare occurrences, and the word count of the entire story is longer than reading the Bible front.
Hypergriff, I'm telling you, if you guys have the money, if you could get these voice acted, so many more people would get into the story and see how great this game is. I'm already sucked in, so I'm gonna keep going regardless, but it would not be as hard to get into this game if it had voice acting.
To back 3 times over. By the way, I am not making a joke, I am being dead ass. To me, it's not really too big a deal and the newer events have had much better pacing, so I'm fine with it. But to people who are looking into playing the game and reading the story, after you heard me say that, there's a non-zero chance you decided you're never gonna touch the game. Which is why I want to say that if you're looking into playing Arknights, hearing spoilers about the story might not be terrible because it could make you interested enough to actually play it, to take that first step. And hell, when it comes to me personally, I've experienced like half of the event stories and still enjoyed them after being spoiled about them, mainly because the community just has a fucking problem with tagging spoilers, especially considering
we got to be better with that
between C and
guys.
Global. But I just want to say that end of the day, if you want to get spoiled or not, that's up to you. But that was just my 2 cents as someone who knows the story. But to start off the explanation, let's talk about what the Seaborn are, the basics. This is the bare bones explanation and just gives more context.
It would be really expensive though, considering the novel length of the stories. The recruitment rate, the amount of people that you would be able to bring in that could end up spending money on your game would be worth it.
To what the game explained, so no spoilers for it on that front. But the Seaborn are a collective hive mind that refer to themselves as the We Many. The main trait of them is their adaptability.
We Many.
Because of this, Aegir has a weapons classification system they use against the Seaborn. They separate the weapons into tiers and use the bare minimum effective weaponry against them to slow their evolution as much as possible. And the main reason this could be done is because Aegir's technology is way more advanced than any other nation in Terra, which says a lot when you look at the world. I mean, you got Victoria making steampunk mechs, Columbia pushing the boundaries of science, ethically or not, and Ursus making damn near eldritch abominations when it comes to their Emperor's blades. Yet none of them hold a candle to Aegir. Before the Seaborn went to attack, they had constant debates to find the best course of their country. They engaged with and were very talented in all of the arts, singing, sculpting, dancing, you name it. Hell, they even had plans to go into outer space, to be the first nation on Terra to do that. But it all changed when the Seaborn nation attacked. Well, not really much of a nation, more so a force of nature, but you know. However, the entirety of Aegir was derailed, and instead of focusing on going to the stars, they fully dedicated themselves to taking out the Seaborn. They view it as their duty to the rest of Terra, and thank fuck they do. Because unironically, without them, everybody's dying. Yeah, this is an exaggeration, by the way. Everybody's dying. To put it into perspective, and this is not spoilers, just it's alternate timeline stuff, so don't worry. In an alternate timeline where the Seaborn had a god that got them past Aegir, they either killed or assimilated everyone on Terra. Aegir was the biggest threat. After that, people went down like dominoes, even with everyone on Terra working together, for once, to try and stop them after they became too big of a threat. But when it comes
Alternate timeline stuff, what is he talking about? IS3 plot, okay.
to mainline canon stuff that shows the difference between Aegir's ability to handle the Seaborn compared to the rest of the world, let's look at the profound silence. So at one point in time, Iberia wasn't a shithole. Surprising, I know. In fact, they had a golden age where they controlled most of the southern coastline. They were one of the most formidable nations, and their biggest strength was their navy. The technology was bolstered by Aegirians that had come to land and helped them, but those Aegirians also tried to warn Iberia. They warned them about the Church of the Deep and the Seaborn, but it really did nothing. During that time, Iberia had
Mostly all IS stuff is a different ending or what if. Oh, okay.
immense pride in themselves, that whatever happened, they would be prepared. And that arrogance was wiped away when the profound silence came. The best explanation for it is from the Inquisition records of it. The ocean sank into an unprecedented silence. Anomalies appeared across the shore as violently ebbing tides and irregular waves heralded the coming of disaster. All sounds were smothered, from waves crashing against the shore to the chiming of city clock towers. All noise faded away until the voices of the people all disappeared as well, until the wind was still. The profound silence came without a sound. Then what plunged Iberia into its current state was a tsunami. A tsunami that wiped out most of their naval fleet, the lighthouses, and sank the capital of Iberia. Which is why, when you look at the map of the world, where Iberia is very jagged. That's because half of it got submerged by the tsunami. The islands you can see in the sea were once peaks of mountains, and the seabourn took control of all of that water. Now, because Iberia had its country upended, there was a vacuum in place of the government, and this led to the Inquisition being formed, and their politics were immoral is the best way to say it. Because of the Church of the Deep, the Inquisitors took action against pretty much any Aegir that was on land, either by forcing them to leave Iberia, taking them in for questioning, or killing them. Now, at first this does seem extreme, because it is, but Irene's take is pretty much the most moral one from an Inquisitor on this, where she believes that what Iberia did was morally bankrupt, but it was needed as Iberia was a country teetering on the brink of collapse, because of the silence in the church, and the church wasn't doing unimportant stuff to Iberia either. Before the silence, they had infiltrated Iberia's own churches and changed their religious texts to align with what they want of humanity. And after the silence, went around to people of Iberia and preached to them that their current suffering was just another step before they reached the utopia of assimilation into the we many. They essentially were drawing the blood out of an already near passing body. But it's for this reason why what Irene was saying and doing at the village in the collapse seems extreme for Limbus players, while Arknights players could understand that it's necessary. Because the Seaborn are capable of ending the world, and the Church of...
Okay, I might need to read this story next. I might actually need to read this story next.
the Deep is aiding them...
Not Limbus, the Seaborn storyline.
...constantly, and has roots so deep in Iberia to where it can never fully be drawn out. But that is it for the basic explanation. Now I want to talk about what the collab didn't cover, namely why the Seaborn came to be. So spoilers for Babel, all main story chapters before it, so 13 to 0, and Path of Life. To be fully clear, what I'm about to explain also appears in chapter 14 and 15.
So not much spoilers for us.
Babel, that would explain this plot line, and those chapters just call into it more, but I'll dive
just
into
the Path of Life
of those
stuff
later and mark out when. But if you don't want to be spoiled, skip to here. These are major plot spoilers. But the Seaborn have the goal of survival. Above all else, they're a hive mind centered around surviving, because they are one of the very few ways to preserve civilization. The biggest plot point of Arknights is the survival of the predecessors against the observers. The predecessors are a tier 3 civilization that travels throughout the universe, and the Doctor is a part of this race. They land on Terra and start to build life up on that planet. The reason Terra has animal races is because of them. As an umbrella term, they're called the Terrans, and the predecessors brought them to Terra. And they're even the reason they look human. So essentially, to Terra, the predecessors are gods. Not within the sense of having some godlike powers or being revered by the people or anything like that. Well,
just gods in like a sense of like the fathers or mothers of the race, right? So they don't really have any like distinct power over the race. It's just they're more advanced. They brought birth to that race.
They do is still physically possible, and not many people know about them. But it's the technological differences between the predecessors and the Terrans which make the difference between these civilizations so vast. And the observers are, well, the best descriptor is the word of the Doctor before their amnesia. They equate civilizations and their growth, schemes, machinations, triumphs, and glory all to a tranquil forest, where a tree represents a world or a collection of planets all host to the same civilization. That tree represents all of its people on it, and in this forest, the predecessors are also just a tree, and the observers are the lumberjack. The trees do not know the origin of this lumberjack, do not know why it cuts them down, but they can do nothing to stop it. That
Okay, how many years have we known about the observers? I'm talking you guys have played from day one. How many years have we known about the observers? Do we have any day ones in here? Just since Lone Trail? Oh God. So it's literally since I've been playing. So this is a new thing. They've had no mention of this or anything in a previous story. I don't remember them being. I'm day one, but I don't read. Only Lone Trail so far? Lone Trail, to be frank. Okay.
is the difference between them.
So there's no like side story or anything that I've missed where they're talking about, because I don't remember it being at the, yeah, they definitely didn't talk about it in main story stuff.
We do not know what the observers are. We do not know why they do what they do. We just know that even though the
Lone Trail confirmed it, but I believe there were hints before, but vague.
predecessors have technology that can have them travel throughout the universe, they view the difference between them and the observers as they are the lumberjack and the predecessors, hell, every civilization in the universe, are the tree. Which is also where I want to clarify. If you don't know the lore of Arknights, you may think, with this being the central conflict, it's a story like Gurren Lagann or something like that, where humanity has to come together and go into the cosmos to fight them, and it's very much not like that. It's a character-driven story, either from characters dying for their ideals, fighting against their fate, or atoning for what they've done and what the world has made them do, but also because the threat of the observers is
Very grounded and very human.
not something they can fight. It is not something Terra can come together and challenge. It is something they can flee and hide from, and that is it. Not to even mention that most of Terra doesn't even know about the predecessors, let alone the observers. Like, for example, the reason Aegir is so advanced is because they found technology left by the predecessors. It's the reason behind their extraordinary growth. But if the predecessors are so advanced, where are they in the story? Why does Aegir, with the dregs of their technology, take center stage as the smartest nation on Terra in place of the predecessors? It's because the observers have already killed most of the ones on Terra. From the passing explanations we've heard of it, it was described as a crisis. Not a battle, not a war, a crisis where the observers came and most of the predecessors were wiped out. Only a few survived. And after the crisis, the predecessor shielded Terra with the Star Pod. It was a creation where it would pretty much be an energy barrier around Terra. It's invisible, yet it causes anything attempting to go beyond it to fail.
Lone Trail, right? Like this is why they needed so much power. Lone Trail.
Because of this, any aircrafts in Terra need to operate at lower altitudes, but the reason it exists is to visually shield what is happening on Terra from what is out there in the universe. It is essentially a fake sky. Because of this, in Terra, you can't find where to go by looking at constellations or anything like that in the real world. The stars are constantly shifting. The only thing you can see beyond it accurately are the twin moons of Terra. That's it. It made Terra unable to think about going out into space, minus the Aegir who were trying because they had the technology of the predecessors. But to put it into perspective, the people of Terra do not know what the word universe is. The actual world itself is a concept they cannot understand, and they're not unadvanced. They got cities and technologies equal to real world stuff, but this star pod cut off space to where no one knows anything about it. It's a shield for Terra. You can break it, but that requires so much energy, and given a bit of time, it'll just repair itself. That is the level of what they were aiming to do to just survive. They had other plans as well, most of them ended in failure, but one of them was a Seaborn. The plan of what they did was to take some Pharmaceutics, they are essentially gods native to Terra, and the predecessors bioengineered them to become living arcs to preserve humanity from the observers. The ones who were
All right, so this is where I stopped last time, a little further in, but this is where I stopped because my brain was getting so obnoxiously cooked. Like this is something that I just didn't like have any context behind or anything, so I needed to sit down and just lock in for this one, so.
Meant to be the Ark came to be known as the Firstborn. However, the experiment ended prematurely because the observers were wiped out by most of the predecessors before it could be completed. Because of that, the Firstborn aren't doing what was intended of them. There's a few of them to talk about, but I'll only focus on two, Asharmala and the Primordial Lifespring. So, during an Agarian expedition into the Manta ruins left by the predecessors and what the Agarians believed to be the birthplace of their civilization, an Agarian named Martis made contact with Asharmala, and there he saw visions of what wiped out the predecessors, and over the course of many days of contemplation, thought that humanity was doomed. But he also saw visions of the Firstborn devouring all life and evolving to the point of even being able to feed on celestial bodies as a way to evolve and survive. He saw visions of civilization having no hope for a future, and then was shown one small possibility of survival. And because of that, he willingly ate one of Asharmala's cubs that offered to be eaten and turned into a Seaborn. From there, he escalated the growth of the Seaborn's assimilation, with the goal of just giving humanity a chance to live. He thinks Aegir and the entire world should help the Seaborn, that they are genuinely a savior for them. Because of this, the Church of the Deep was founded, and in the collab, Mayors thought they were a necessity. Though the Church of the Deep's efforts are what led to the profound silence, because the tsunami that wiped out half of Iberia wasn't a random natural disaster, it was the Primordial Lifespring, which was a Firstborn that became one with the sea after dissolving into it, and the wasn't genuinely a savior for them, with the goal of just giving humanity a chance to live. He thinks Aegir and the entire world should help the Seaborn, that they are genuinely a savior for them. Because of this, the Church of the Deep was founded, and in the collab, Mayors thought they were a necessity. Though the Church of the Deep's efforts are what led to the profound silence, because the tsunami that wiped out half of Iberia wasn't a random natural disaster, it was the Primordial Lifespring, which was a Firstborn that became one with the sea after dissolving into it, and the Church of the
So wouldn't that mean that it's lying to him?
Seaborn, that they are genuinely a savior for them. Because of this, the Church of the Deep was founded, and in the collab, Mayors thought they were a necessity. Though the Church of the Deep's efforts are what led to the profound silence.
Wait, okay, so the Church of the Deep is different from this thing okay, shit.
Because the tsunami that wiped out half of Iberia wasn't a random natural disaster, it was the Primordial Lifespring, which was a Firstborn that became one with the sea after dissolving into it,
Yeah.
and the Church of the Deep tried to revive it, causing the tsunami that wiped out Iberia. And if it could merge with Asharmala, it would cause the entirety of Terra to be flooded. Then they would be assimilated into the Wee Many. So the point of the Seaborn is, they're a possibility for survival, one avenue to survive the crisis, but because they weren't fully completed, their goal shifted from being an arc into what they are now. And what the Church of the Deep say isn't a lie. Objectively, they are a way to survive. But that returns to the central moral question of Arknights. Is it fine for one civilization to control the fate, the trajectory, the lives of another if they do not have a way to survive what will wipe them out? And this is a question that is expanded on and debated in the main story, and the collab gives a very direct line for that question, which, to be honest, we're yet to see even the main story of Arknights do. So this is me saying, the spoilers from here are going to include chapter 4.
I have to read that chapter. Because either the way he described it is just confusing me, or I need the context. So, like, a cult-like church is the cause of that disaster, not the being. Okay.
14 and 15. So if you don't want to be spoiled about those, skip to this time on screen. They are major spoilers. As I said earlier, the Doctor is one of the predecessors, though I won't call them the Doctor for now. Instead, I'll be calling them Oracle, because that's what they were known as to the predecessors, and it makes a clear distinction between the Doctor before amnesia and after amnesia. They're the same person with in the body and all that, but I'll be using different names to help distinguish the mental state they were in regards to amnesia. However, they came with the predecessors to Terra, and their closest travel companion, though in her words, even explaining their relationship as intimate would be a belittlement of it, was Priestess. And just like the rest of their civilization, they were looking for a way to survive the crisis. The answer the two of them came to, what they made for civilization to survive, was Originium. Originium is the lifeblood of Terra. It's responsible for the energy of it, the development. It's what causes people to become infected, and it's what even shaped
But they have disagreements on how it's
on nomadic
used.
platforms so they can escape catastrophes which happen as a result of Originium dust. And it's even the reason the Terrans evolved to resemble humans. The entirety of Terra is shaped by Originium, and it is not natural. It was man-made by...
Am I saying Originium wrong? Originium? Originium.
Priestess and Oracle. The possibility it gave humanity was the ability to be assimilated into its own universe, because Originium, even though it can be used for so many different purposes, is able to store vast amounts of information. That was the way to save humanity. It was so important to our Oracle, when describing what the observers did to them and what the Originium they left after was, said, "On this day, the lumberjack raised his axe as usual, and another tree fell before him. But after the lumberjack turned away, branches sprouted from the stump, and the broken branches rejoined. The clearing made by the lumberjack grew dense with trees once again, and it didn't stop there. Transparent resin engulfed a forest that only existed in stories. Soon, before you, only a beautiful amber remains. Originium will become the beacon, condensed..."
I feel like I've read that before.
"By our civilization. If one day other life forms in the universe lose their homeland and seek a way to resolve their plight, they will witness that we once shined, we once resisted, and this is where we rest.
Babel.
We once
Okay.
delivered a gift to those who came after us before our annihilation. Hope." But this is where Oracle and Priestess had a difference. Oracle viewed it as a possibility for life to take, a beacon of hope, but not a contract
Difference is
civilization signed to
how it should
participate
be
in
used.
since they were born. Originium should not be forced on civilizations like a bitter pill they need to swallow. It is simply something that, if they choose to, can save them. However, Priestess thought that to properly preserve civilization, all information needed to be stored in the assimilated universe. And this difference in ideology is what led to the turning point in the story, Babel. To give a brief explanation to set the stage, the Sarkaz were the first race on Terra to touch Originium. That made their fate tied to the assimilated universe, and whenever a Sarkaz died, they would go to that universe, and thousands of years after that connection was made, Theresa became the king of the Sarkaz. And that is not just a title. All kings have the Black Crown and can see information and memories stored of all the Sarkaz kings prior. Theresa, after going through these memories for many years, finally found that the Sarkaz are slaves to Originium, and she wanted to break that connection, to allow the fate of the Sarkaz to finally be free, to allow them to rest, because they didn't choose to go to the assimilated universe after death, but because they touched the first Originium all Sarkaz have, from the moment they were born, been bound to it after their death. So breaking it was her goal, and Babel was how she would mend the civil war with her brother and unite the Sarkaz in this goal. And to help
Babel's such a beautiful fucking story, bro. Lone Trail and Babel. Holy shit.
achieve this, Kelshi woke up Oracle from their sarcophagus.
Kelshi? Am I saying her name wrong? That's her Japanese pronunciation. Okay.
They stayed in there to preserve themselves until Originium was at a point where it could be used to save civilization. But Kelshi woke them up too early. Originium was yet to grow as much as it needed to. At its current state, it cannot assimilate everyone to escape the surveillance of the observers. But the Doctor traveled the land to see Terran civilization, see what has become of life after thousands of years in stasis. The Doctor traveled the lands and came to love Terra, but also came to be ridden with guilt. because with all the suffering caused from originium, they were the source of it. They were the one who helped make originium. And then later, when they learned of what Theresa planned to do, cut off the Sarkos from originium, essentially ending the beacon of hope right then and there, they came to a crossroads. Do they let Theresa do this and doom the predecessors that have survived in sarcophagus to death? Because her stopping the project would cut off that lifeline of originium being able to save them. Or do they stop Theresa and condemn all of Terra to be consumed in originium? Whatever their choice was, they held the fates of so many lives. On one path, Oracle would condemn all remaining predecessors to death and cut off a ray of hope for the entire universe, but on the other, they would have to betray Kelshi, Amiya, Theresa, Babel, and the entirety of Terra they came to love. For a way to survive, not even as people, but as information within a simulated universe. Do they kill their civilization to let Terra be free with no chance to survive the coming crisis, or do they condemn all of Terra because their civilization has a chance to survive? And
see, there's bits of this that now make so much more sense after chapter 15.
Oracle didn't know what to do. But this is where Priestess's influence kicked in. See, the predecessors have a brain implant called a linchpin. It helps preserve their memories and consciousness while traveling throughout the universe. It makes their consciousness come to a stimulated world where they can enter into debate with their paired companion. Imagine it as basically dreaming, and Oracle's companion was Priestess. But this comes with a risk where if one's linchpin was modified, it can nudge that person into doubt and follow what the other wants them to do. I've heard people explain it as mind control, but to me, I don't really like that explanation.
I'm gonna let him cook.
I view it more as something that can nudge and push someone within a direction. And when you're at the doctor who is teetering on the edge, looking at which civilization they have to betray and kill, that linchpin means a lot. As
he doesn't like that it's described as mind control. He prefers it to be described as something that teeters you into one direction. I guess technically that isn't mind control, but it is a form of control. It is a form of control. You're literally trying to change someone's thought process. What's the word for it? An influence? Yeah, influencing. Gaslighting. Course correction. That's a good one. Course correction. But either way, it's a form of control. I would say it's just as bad, bro.
when the doctor saw the pain that originium caused Terra, they were consumed with guilt. What they did to try and save everyone caused the infected, catastrophe, suffering, death. It ruined people's lives. But Priestess tampered with Oracle's linchpin to have debates centered around letting the Originium project achieve its goal at whatever cost. And these debates made Oracle question themselves and, in a sense, corrupted them until
legal does not equal moral or good. Legal does not equal moral or good.
they reached a breaking point and had to make a decision. I am rather fortunate. I have been able to leap across the millennia to communicate with them. I have even considered myself one of the...
Brother, voice doctor. Holy shit.
And these debates made Oracle question themselves and, in a sense, corrupted them until they reached a breaking point and had to make a decision. I am rather fortunate. I have been able to leap across the millennia to communicate with them. I have even considered myself one of the people of this land for a time, experiencing their past and future. But in the end, I am not of here. I have begun to feel uneasy about Theresa's efforts. If the Originium project ends in failure, no. Even if it is merely postponed for a time, Theresa, Kelshi, even the future that I promised to Amiya, the inhabitants of this planet, some of the few life forms known to us, are but illusions that will break at the slightest touch. I have been lying to them and to myself for a very long time now, but how will I explain it to Kelshi, or to Theresa, or Amiya? Am I supposed to tell them that all the pain they have been through is the key to their salvation and they must stop fighting? That all of Terran civilization is a fleeting dream, and only by being assimilated into Originium will we have the opportunity to avert our fate? Seeing the lives of those they call the infected dissipate like smoke brings pain to my heart. It has long been a common sight on Terra, but it always marks the end of life, sorrowful and cruel. It has been too long since I've heard a voice full of life. I can't just see them as unexpected sparks, but what I see cannot be called a warrior's death. Rather, they have given in to the Originium's assimilation, passing through death to join the assimilated universe, a chance where life can break through the deepest darkness. Should I bow in silence at their deaths, or should I quietly rejoice at the smooth progression of the project? It is for this reason that Theresa dedicates herself to her research. Kelshi, or Ama-10, has also chosen to believe
And the music choice on top of it. Oh, Jesus Christ.
in the potential of Terra, chosen to resist Originium and put an end to war. But what about me? The Originium project was built upon the efforts of countless generations, and in that time, billions of our compatriots have died, all in exchange for a mere 10,000 years that I've spent waiting and waiting. And now, the flint and tinder are in my hands. After all the long years, how could I abandon it? Because Terra has left me pleasantly surprised in a few short years? Because of the choices that Theresa and Kelshi made? Even if Amiya has moved me to compassion, would I not have been the selfish one all along? They awakened me to be their salvation, but in truth, I am destined to bring them to annihilation. They awakened me, their destroyer, as if I was their savior. Amiya, Kelshi,
Bro,
what should I do? Priestess,
so good.
what should I do? And
So
those
good,
debates with Priestess
brother. I already thumbs up. I already did it. I wish I could do it 1,000 more times. Holy shit.
sets Oracle on the path to betray Theresa. They meet with her brother, Theresus, and try to work together. The goal is for Babel to fall, so Originium can consume the lands and their civilization can survive. Destroy Babel, scatter her followers. Let Theresa in on your plans. Unify the Sarkaz under a Kazdel ruled by the military commission.
She and I have never relied on the charity of our enemies in the course of leading Castel to where it stands today. It is true that this war will only end with the decisive defeat of one of us. But you should not be the one to propose it. Proceed. Tell me more of why you would make this request, evil spirit of an age long gone.
You already know. There are no surprises here. Considering the near 200 years you and Theresa spent working together, you should be able to guess. I seek the expansion of Originium. Babel's struggles will only prolong the dying gasps
Chills,
of this
bro.
land, Theresus. No matter if you resist it or accept it, Originium will take on myriad forms, drawing all of creation into her embrace. Have you ever looked up at the sky? Beyond that sky, far beyond the twin moons, there is a place that we would once return to, where we would sleep peacefully. but I am the only one left, here speaking with you. In the course of the Sarkaz's eternal search for the remains of dead gods to fend off your enemies, have you ever wondered, why did those gods die? The burden I bear is greater than the future of the Sarkaz. If I must destroy some things to create a ladder I hope for, I will do it. It's all I can do. I've already hesitated for far too long.
Destroy some things to create a ladder. You speak lightly of sacrifice.
Nothing light here, Theresis. Believe me when I say you couldn't even conceive of what I've been through.
And where do I see your sincerity for our cooperation? I require an even more direct means to advance this war to the next stage. If you wish for the Babel members to be spared, then so be it. The military commission promises you that as long as Babel concedes defeat and departs Castel, we will not exterminate those who desert or surrender. But you know what you must do in return. You know what I ask of you. If you truly wish to save the many who stand by your side, make them willingly admit defeat and surrender to me. Then slay their king. Destroy some things to create a ladder.
Theresis only agrees if the Doctor creates an opening to kill Theresa. Her being assassinated is the only way for Babel to fall and the Sarkaz to be unified under his banner. And Oracle, with
some things just hit so much harder after understanding what is happening already. Like seeing the result, right? It hits so much harder when you have that understanding.
no other choice, agrees. They lead the assassins to Theresa. She is able to kill them all, but is bleeding to death and given just a bit more time, will die. However, she reaches out to Oracle and knows that, despite the betrayal, they don't truly want this. She knows the sincerity and love they have for the world, Kelshi and Amiya, but their memories are chaining them, taking them prisoner and not letting them do what they truly want. So, Theresa decides to take out the Doctor's memories with her arts and erase them, to finally free the Doctor from the chains their memories and Priestess's influence is putting on them. To let them decide how they want to live and what they want to spend their life working towards.
Your memory is gone.
I need a fully voiced Arknights. I need it fully voiced. I need it fully voiced.
And your soul reborn. A truly terrible trick. But they underestimate your benevolence, your desire for victory. They underestimate us, and what makes Terra so tenacious. Doctor, allow me to call you by this name for the last time. This is my little revenge on you. And also, my final gift to you. Memory does not shape who you are. So, with your original self, live again on this land.
Bro. Bro.
See the world. Feel the various emotions life brings. Meet the many people of Terra. Perhaps your journey will start in suffering, and you may never manage to escape the murky moon shadows of this land. But you will always get to see the sun rise. I trust you will find a new solution. One that is truly your own. An answer that sounds just like the murmur Keltsit and I once heard. A most moving answer.
That is why the Doctor has amnesia. It was Theresa's way to save the Doctor, for them to be free. She wants them to come to their own conclusions about.
Do you guys see? Do you guys see what I've been saying for like the past like year, year and a half? Do you see what I like? This content creator has found a way it's not just reading it. Like he puts the emotion in it so that it feels like it's truly a part of the story. And him adding those scenes on the sides was just, he didn't need to do that. He didn't need to do that.
The world and how its future should be, and we haven't yet gotten that answer. In the story, we can vaguely choose who we side with, like small dialogue choices.
Bruh, you don't have 100 gigabytes to store fully voiced Arknights. Play it on PC. Download all the voices on your PC. Don't have all the voices on your on your phone. Just play the game on your phone. Read the story on your PC. We have emulators. A PC client is coming. You don't need to store all the voices on your phone. I would give anything for this. And I'm not going to let any of you make it sound like it's a bad thing. I wouldn't.
This is for what we want, and even in an ARG, you can debate Priestess, and the results show if you side with her.
We need to read this. That's what I forgot to do. We need to read this. We stuttering. We need to read the alternate to the story. Baki, are you still here? Okay, he's not here. Somebody in the chat, DM me the link to the alternate, to the other part of the story that changed because of my decision.
Or Theresa, and depending on it, a cutscene in chapter 15 changes a bit, but the story is yet to definitively say where the Doctor lands. There's
It's 1517, right? I think so.
slowly getting back their memories,
Chat,
but we
help
don't
him
know
out.
if they will choose to continue the project or if they'll let Terra fight for their own fate, even though the chances of survival are slim. However, in the collab, we finally hear an answer from the Doctor when it comes to the fate of Terra, saying there's no such thing as absolutes when it comes to the value of life. Survival is the right of all civilization. It should never be up to others to define the worth of life. And that line right there is probably one of the most important ones when it comes to what is going to happen in the rest of Arknights' main story. Because while I would be surprised if, after everything, the Doctor betrayed Terra and sided with Priestess, we're still yet to get the clearest single line without the possibility of player choice to change it, which shows they're against her. Now, on the other side, I wouldn't take this line as canon because this is a collab and not canon to Arknights, but it still shows the care for Arknights' story that was put into this. This isn't a collab that happened because they thought it would be good for profit margins. PM didn't just clock in and go, yo, people in our fandom kind of fucks with Arknight. Let's collab with Arknight and do some very uninspired story for it, like you could see in so many different gacha games. Cough cough Persona 5. Cough cough, the most pumpkin spice latte collab every gacha wants to milk. It isn't a bland and boring story where Dante and the gang get teleported to the land ship and fight some originium slugs while big chilling with the group, which actually not gonna lie, part of me would have kind of been down to see that, because the only criticism I got for the collab when it comes to the story is the lack of character interactions. Like, there's some funny ones of Kelshi and Foss being hyper nerdy, Dante scaring Amiya with wanting her to pop the sinners, Scotty immediately doing that, but there wasn't too many. Though the central plot of the collab being around the right for people to survive and spend their life as they want to is so deeply connected to the story Arknights is telling. Either Arc 1, 2, or 3, Babel, Path of Life, Grand Overture, Lone Trail, whatever, it is the most central part of Arknights in the collab. If the plot around it were to be made into an actual story for Arknights, would still be incredibly fitting. You can tell it was made with the current story in mind. If the Cantos and Limbus are meant to make you understand the Sinner better, this collab is focused on making you understand the world of Arknights and the weight behind the morality of the main story. Especially when it comes to Mayors. She wants to give humanity a chance to survive, but knows deep down that the Seaborn, while giving that chance, are inherently flawed. She, just like a lot of characters in the story, are looking for a chance to survive and make the world a better place. What she goes through in this event is covered a lot in Arknights' story. It's one about people wanting to lessen the hardship of life and make the world just a little bit better or a fair place. Well, at least that's one of the topics covered in it, and this collab perfectly shows it. Yet at the same time, it's still enjoyable for people who haven't touched Arknights, and as a player of both, I loved it. But now, for another part that I think they went above and beyond on, let's talk about the egos. I am so glad they did not just assign these based on vibes. Like, they could have just taken the easy way out and went, Merso is very Changyu coded cause big man. Wheatus is very Degenbrecher coded cause mommy. Dawn is very neural coded cause knight and same voice actress. And Gregory is very W coded because cockroach. Not gonna lie, kinda want to see that last one though. But the egos fit honestly a little too well. Like Scotty Ishmael. Spoilers for Undertide, skip to here if you don't want to be spoiled, but also this is a spoiler that is already well known.
Undertides. I think I started Undertides but didn't finish it. Yeah, I think I started Undertides but didn't finish it.
In the community, because we got a unit that is this spoiler already in the game. But after the Abyssal Hunters killed the Firstborn, Asharmala, it wiped out their forces. There were only 4 left after the battle, and when Scotty dealt the killing blow to Asharmala, she was very weak and had cuts all over her body. And at that moment, the blood of the Firstborn entered into Scotty. It then mixed with her Seaborn cells, and now there is the possibility that Scotty could awaken Asharmala and essentially revive it, if it takes over her body. You know what that sounds like? Ishmael at the wreck of her former ship. Going on an expedition she was forced to by Ahab, and after the ship was swallowed by the Palid Whale, she had nothing. But over time, the influence of what Ahab did to her slowly took over Ishmael, essentially consumed her. And if Ahab had gone her way, Ishmael would have become a shell of her, like Asharmala was Scotty. Minus the lesbianism. Scotty didn't really have a key quag in her story. That's more Spectre and Irene's territory. Then there's Gregory with Mlynar, and yes, I know it's pronounced Mwynar, but I do not care. I think Mlynar sounds better. I will put extra emphasis on the L. But this one, there are some differences in approach, but the destination of how they feel is fairly the same. Gregor, as we all know, hates war. He saw what it does to people and hated that he was a cog in the machine of propaganda that fueled it and ruined so many people's lives. And Mlynar does have a similar situation when it comes to propaganda and being viewed as a symbol of the war. He was a legendary knight, also the son of a national hero for Cashmeres, a nation heavily founded around knights. However, his view of knights' pride and chivalry was torn to shreds after his older brother and sister-in-law went on a mission and vanished under very suspicious circumstances. He grew to lament Cashmeres and how it views knights as fuel for propaganda, either for the use of them in tournaments to take sponsors, or for their patriotism when in reality, Cashmeres is corrupt and far from the image they try to exude. And Gregor lost people he's close with too. Some speculate he even lost his sister. But they're both viewed as noble symbols for war. Gregor hates it because he despises war, and Mlynar hates it because he believes chivalry and knightly glory are all facades to what reality actually holds. But then there's the ego I'm most excited to talk about, Kelshi Faust. Just want y'all to know, on my video I made some years ago talking about which center would get what identity for this collab, I called this shit. I was a pioneer. Project Moon specifically went to that video for inspiration on this. Probably not, considering it's the most obvious fucking choice for an ego, but that's neither here nor there. I will take full credit for it, you are welcome. But Kelshi is a very difficult character to explain, so this will be spoilers up till chapter 15 of Arknights. Skip to here if you don't want to be spoiled. Kelshi is a creation of Priestess and Oracle. She was known as Amma 10, and her purpose is best shown in the cutscene that plays in the game if you disagree with Priestess in the debate ARG. In it, Oracle gave Amma 10 the name of Kelshi, believing that Amma 10 is just a codename, a mechanical identifier, and she should have a true name. Then they told her to protect Terra as they slept in the sarcophagus, to make sure life on it can thrive. While it may be arrogant to interfere with a civilization, this is their last chance. They cannot fail. They need Terra to progress to a point where there is a chance to survive the observers. And Oracle gave the job to Kelshi. With her Gemini cycle, she can live forever. And on that path where she watches over Terra, she can guide them. But Oracle stops, looks at her, and thinks about the mission they are putting her on, and instead says, "No. Forget what I just said, Kelshi. All of it. Go, Kelshi. Look around you. Then see what lies by the most distant of mountains. Go seek what forms existence takes. I must go back. Wake me up when you need to. Kelshi, I hope you'll... Or maybe I should say, the only mission I assign to you now is this. Find yourself. Search for traces of life. Search for hope and a future.
Where does this happen?
Kelshi, go find your own answer." The final mission she was assigned was to find the meaning of life. That is what her creator asked her to do, and she spent over thousands of years wandering the land in search of it, and she came to love
It's the puzzle? Read chat. Chaotik's chat says this is the 1517 you were asking for. That was it? Oh, I love how... Send you the web reader. You sent the web reader? Okay. Okay, then I'll just read that when we get done.
to love Terra. While the land and the people may have flaws, she came to love it and oppose Originium to ease the suffering of the land, going against the way to survive the observers, but it was the choice she made for her own life, from her own answer.
Who said you forgot? I've never seen that. Who said that? Bombfrost?
And this culminated in Kelshi making plans to resist and, with the help of Monster, fought against Priestess after she broke free from Rhodes Island. But beating Priestess was impossible because she has full control of Originium, and with that power she manipulated the Originium crystals on Kelshi's body to consume her, then shattered them to the wind. Kelshi found her meaning in life to protect Terra because of her love for it, and fought till her death for that. But sometime after Rhodes Island fell, the Doctor and Amiya had taken hold of the crystal Monster left behind. They went out into a field to see what would happen with it, and then life sprung forth from it. Monster, now human. And this is who Phos' ego is actually based on. She's not meant to be Kelshi in it, she is Monster. There's two reasons that show it. One is that Kelshi appears in the ego cutscene and commands Phos rather than Phos commanding Monster. And the other is the line of the ego.
In this journey, in times of restlessness, search for hope and a future. Find your own answer. That's why she shows up as a ghost here.
That is what she said to Monster in a voice recording that would play in the event Monster was freed from the Gemini cycle that kept Alma 10 alive throughout her thousands of years going throughout Terra. She was given the ability to be free and find her own answer to life, and gave that possibility to Monster. It was honestly one of the most beautiful scenes in Arknights, and I'm glad it was brought up here for the ego. And the connection for the ego is that Monster knows everything about the world from the...
I read this again off stream, and bro, when I say that it hit much harder the second time reading it, bro, that almost crying that happened on stream, I was sitting on my bed, like, with like tears, and it wasn't like full on crying, but it was just like tears, just, it actually cracked. It actually cracked.
Eyes of Kelshi, but she hasn't lived it all. Like Faust knows seemingly everything from the Gesellschaft, but hasn't lived it. Now from there isn't too much more to expand on because we don't know that much more about Faust. Her canto is still yet to happen, but I'm sure when it does, this ego is going to be even more fitting. And for the last one to break down, Honglu with the ego for Ling. The connection is that they both like poems. Okay, so that is it for the video. Glad y'all came out. And okay, I'm just kidding, but like, okay, to be honest, I really don't remember anything about Ling. Like, I read her event, read the event after that. Bro had like 30 lines collectively. She doesn't talk. I know there is apparently a connection to Buddhism and Taoism, but the only thing I know when it comes to that is the one world religion class I took in grade 11, so I'm sorry. I'm sure there's a connection, but I do not know it. The most I can say as of now is that Ling is either at there or very close to enlightenment. So she feels like what Honglu could be at the end of his journey. If he has just started accepting himself and accepting his emotions, Ling is what we can hope is the end destination after all is said and done. But aside from that, I fear there is not much more I can say when it comes to this connection because Ling is very much a recluse when it comes to her appearances in the story. But that is it for all of the breakdowns, and honestly the quickest way possible I could have done it. There was not a way to make this video shorter and explain all that I wanted to, which, I mean, I'm actually kind of glad for because I fucking adore Arknights, so any chance I have to praise it and talk about it, I am more than willing to take. But before playing the collab, I was worried it was going to be bland, boring, or something that I just think about and go, oh, yeah, that collab was nice. But Project Moon blew all of those worries out of the water. They made a story that is such a love letter to Arknights while still being incredibly enjoyable to people who haven't played it. And that is so hard to do. But if you have played it, the collab evolves into more than just a great crossover for Limbus, but something that hits deeply to the main plot. I would have liked seeing more character interactions between Rhodes Island and Limbus, and hell, maybe just seeing more Arknights characters in general. But aside from that, this collab was a masterpiece to me. I'm glad it came from a place of love.
Can we, I don't know if you guys have already seen this. If you have, thank you for watching that with me. If you haven't, please give him the fucking view. Like, please. This guy just made a top tier. There better not be one comment bad mouthing, bro. This is the This is a fantastic video, dude. Oh, now Baki's here. Thank you, Bomb Frost. I saw you sent it. Let me check my Discord real quick. But you sent two. Wait, this is the one. Okay. All right, so let me close Discord again, and we're back. All right, so this is the alternate version. This is the one that I haven't seen. Like, where does it start? Because I don't want to read the whole fucking thing all over again. After? Oh, shit. Okay, here. Okay. We traveled. Oh. I was about to say, is it voice? We've traveled far enough. I fear there's no longer a point in continuing our exploration. 10,000 day cycles have passed since I entered hibernation, but Terra's changes have been limited. The spark of life, the spark of life from Talos 2 is still weak. The other seeds of hope planted by my former companions have shown no signs of sprouting either. Why does it have a doctor's image of an Amma 10? This is going to confuse. I have to read this every single time now. Expressing dismay. Are you disappointed? No, I have expected this result long ago, actually. I miscalculated the pace at which everything would develop. It's not the right time, and there's only so much I can do. Time. I just need more time. I can't continue wasting the life of this body. I have to return to sleep inside the sarcophagus and wait for an opportunity more ripe than this. Talos mentioned. Oh, shit. Did I just brush past that? The spark of life from Talos 2 is still weak. The other seeds of hope planted by my former... No, I'm gonna tell you what I was thinking when I read it. I immediately just connected it with Terra. The word Terra is what popped up in my head. So I just kept going as if I read Terra. In Babel, it gets revealed that all people on Terra. Yeah. I know that part, but it's just like it's just cool every chance that. Wait. Wait, I don't think I knew. Did they say Talos 2 in Babel? Did they actually say Talos 2? I must have did the same thing there and checked out and thought it was Terra. I understood the fact. Crack, that sucked. Oh my god, that hurt. Yeah. I've always connected it to being from the other planet where the precursor race came from, but I don't think I ever like paid attention to the fact that they clearly pointed out Talos too. Huh. I'm gonna just continue. We can harp on this in a bit. I can't continue wasting the life of this body. I have to return to sleep inside the sarcophagus and wait for an opportunity more ripe than this. I have to admit, I broke my promise, and this is sort of a betrayal. But it is because I still love life that I must have hope. There is no other way. Though I fear she's already anticipated my early awakening. Her being priestess. Inside that sarcophagus, I discovered a linchpin modifying program. Oracle is just insane in terms of like, so it's implied that Oracle betrayed Priestess. Uh, they had a disagreement on how the Originium should be used. I don't think that show it shows before chapter. No, yeah, they have a disagreement in how it should be used. Originium. I already scrolled down. Besides a good Lynchman program. Technology born in a lost age, used to strengthen our thoughts and conviction. Without it, many would lose the will needed to make it through that period of endless despair. She and I went through it together. She knows and understands me best, of course, but it's also why our differing opinions are my deepest regret. Yeah, they had a disagreement in how it should be used. They know of this. I know that they have a disagreement, but this time Oracle said it as a betrayal on his side instead. Is that how you see it? I don't. Maybe he knows that she would see it that way. I don't really see. I don't read it that way. I just read it as they acknowledge that they both disagree on this fact. Not fact, on how this should be how this technology should be used. That is how I'm reading all of that. I don't see it as a betrayal. It's a disagreement, and it's a matter of who was against Doctor turning to a furry scientist. Shut up. She anticipated my actions, and the hidden program within the sarcophagus activated when I woke up. It can modify my cognition and the purpose of our debates. And I must return to that same soul sarcophagus to extend my life, even if that means I don't have much time left. Amma 10. No, I shouldn't call you by that anymore. It's a code name, an identifier for a mechanical creation. I should give you a true name. Kaltzit. Why does it say it like this here? Huh. It's going by the J. Did I click JP somewhere? Refringement crystals capable of refracting a single light source into two polarized lights, a beautiful phenomenon like you. Oh, okay. No, this is actually what it says. Calcite. Calcit. That'll do. Do you like this name? An abundant and versatile mineral composed of calcium carbonate that forms in many geological environments and is a key component of limestone and marble. This was based off of the crystal or the mineral crystal, whatever. Google it. Yeah, that's why I copied it. Calcite means calcite. You mean it came from calcite. It doesn't. Never mind. You're right. You're right. They have the same meaning. It's inspiration for the original word. So yeah, okay. There are some things I won't have time to do. I hope you can finish them for me. Expressing joy. I like that. I almost brushed over this because I didn't see the Amma 10 part. Calls it. I hope you can protect life on this great land. New civilizations are always fragile, but harsh environments will show no mercy. It is arrogant to interfere with the civilization's development, but we don't have many chances left. This may be our last opportunity. Civilizations tend to repeat the same mistakes, sinking into violence, unverifiable thought pitfalls, and dead ends of self-doubt. There's no escaping all of that, but just a tiny deviation is enough to wreck a whole civilization. The existence of civilization itself is already a sort of miracle. So calls it. I hope you will guide them. Your Gemini cycle grants you practically infinite life. You can follow immature civilizations as they develop and guide them onto a path forward with your knowledge. About that. She did complete her mission though, right? She did complete her mission. Man, damn it, man. It's an arduous mission, but you might manage it, You should. This passionate speech comes to a halt. Oracle looks at the slender, delicate, mechanical life, then gazes at the distant mountains half buried by sandstorms. No, forget what I just said, calls it, all of it. This is what we just read in the video. Go look around you, then see what lies by the most distant of mountains. Go seek what forms existence takes. I must go back. Wake me up when you need to. Calls it. I hope you'll, or maybe I should say, the only mission I assign you now is this. Find yourself. Search for traces of life and search for hope and a future. Calls it. Go find your own answer. Have you found the meaning of your life yet? And then it goes right back to where we were, right? Yeah, it goes right back into, man, that is such a different tone to the God damn, it just skips right into it, dude. Yeah, this is the one I read. Oh man. I like the other one better. Cuz that feels more personal. This feels more personal when connecting to Cultsit right before her passing. Like, that's literally perfect. Account bricked. I didn't choose, okay? I answered honestly because it sounded right, all right? It sounded right. I didn't know what I was doing. You know what? Shut up. Shut up, all of you, okay? Shut up, all of you. You know, for real, this video was fantastic. Whoops. I'm gonna press this. It's getting the attention it deserves too. It was only at like 2K views when I first was watching it. Man. I love this game. I love this game. Then play it. I have been. I just save the stories for when I'm streaming them. Maybe I shouldn't do that anymore, Baki. Maybe I should just do them off stream since I enjoy it so much, right? Just go through the stories off stream. Are you gonna read the Masses Travel, which is the next patch, which gives which has related important which has important related information from chapter 15, just in case? I think Comey told me to. Then I'll just watch other streamer rip Bozo. Hey, whatever. I guess I have to. You guys are amping it up as if I think calls it. Oh my god. I just called Comey calls it. I think Comey told me to read it. Is Lingering Echoes still, is it okay? You still have Lingering Echoes, and so those two are very, oh my god, being very long. You don't gotta tell me that part. You do not have to tell me that part. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna read them. It's just a matter of how I'm gonna go about it. Because, man, you guys saying that's very long scares me. That scares me a lot. Lingering Echoes is peak. Well, we'll make sure to go through that. Well, the last thing I wanted to talk about during the stream, I got to make sure I at least bring this up, is because of this ICP registration. I've been asking about what IPC registration is. So I'm going to just bring this up real quick, because a lot of people have been kind of confused, and even to my understanding, it's confusing, but I'm just going to sum it up to the way that I understood it best. So this is a requirement. IPC registration is a requirement for whenever a Chinese game needs to access a server. It is a requirement for any game, live service or not, that accesses a server. It is getting pretty much permission for users to access that server safely. So this is a requirement before being published, so that people can access a game. That is why Exastris also had that same thing, because even though the game can be played offline, Exastris has a server that you can access for uploading and downloading your cloud saves. That still needs to be registered through the ICP. So that does not mean that next month we're going to be getting anything Endfield. However, I do think, and this is now speculation, this is just me, putting together what I think is going to happen based off of previous releases of games. I think at the end of this month or the beginning of next month, we're finally going to start seeing promotion for Endfield. Whether that means another test or not, I'm not sure. But I think we're finally going to start seeing more of the game either at the end of this month or the beginning of next month. Why do I think that? Because they still have not done their pre-registration stuff. We don't know if they're going to have any rewards for pre-registration. We don't know if they're going to have any actual, bonuses for you pre-registering for the game. I do know it's coming out for PlayStation 5, so they just dropped the PlayStation 5 wish list option, right? That aligns with them releasing that video and then allowing people to play on the PlayStation 5 at Tokyo Game Show. So I think the next step is we're most likely going to see promotion for the game at the end of this month or the beginning of next month. And now it's just a matter of when they're going to reveal the release date, which if I had to guess when they're going to reveal the release date, I would say that would be the Game Awards. Either during the Game Awards or around that time. And I think that will be when give us a free 4-star. I think that will be when we finally get that release date and we know exactly when the game is going to release. If they have a test, we'll probably see that test sometime next month. Next month it's October now. So November. The Game Awards is in December. So here's my timeline of events of what I'm predicting. I'm predicting at the end of this month, beginning of next month, we're going to get a form of promotion for the game. I think that's when, if they have an open or a closed beta, one more beta test, they will reveal the beta test then. Have us sign up right away. And then a few weeks later, get us in that test. Test won't be too long. Maybe a week, 3 days to a week long. Then they take in the feedback. They go quiet a little bit for just a little bit. We'll probably see the Game Awards pop up, whether they're in the Game Awards or they're just going to drop a trailer around the Game Awards like they did last time. They will do that, showing whatever new character or whatever they're doing, which is what I think that banner was when we were on Reddit and we saw that image of the new character, the blue character and the Little Red Riding Hood character. I think that's what that was for, the actual promotion of the game. And we'll get a release date during the Game Awards promotion period. And I'm predicting a release. This is a prediction. I'm predicting a release for mid-January to early February. I'm talking around like maybe January 15th to 20th. And if that passes, maybe beginning of February. I think that's like safe. When exactly is the anniversary? Because if it aligns with the anniversary, I think that would even be better. When exactly is the anniversary? January 16th for global. God, that aligns so well with my prediction. Yeah, I think it'll be around there. 15th to 20th. Yeah, 15th to 20th. That's during Hoshi's altar patch too. That would actually be really good for Endfield because now you have Arknights with actual content in the game, and you have Endfield with actual content in the game, right? Whenever something massive happens, you can just throw it in Arknights and have it connect to Endfield any way that it needs to. But we'll see. These are all predictions. I'm not sure what they got planned, but I'm hoping that I'm right about the release date area. They're going to cannibalize each other somewhat. I don't think so. Arknights players that just like Arknights are just going to play Arknights. They're going to continue to play Arknights regardless. With the free currency that you get so easily in the game, I don't think the free-to-play players are just going to do what free-to-play players do. The spenders, right? The spenders are probably going to just are going to go in for whatever they have more interest in. So if Endfield has a character that they're really interested in, Enfield's the one they're going to spend on. If Arknights has a character that's either super important meta or just you love them because they're in the story, they'll spend on that character. If those two ever collide, it's whichever one is most important to that player. I don't think they're going to cannibalize each other too much. It's literally going to work out. Kind of like how Hoyo games kind of have Star Rail, Zenless, and Genshin. And on months when Genshin has a character, right, that's the most important for them, they choose Genshin. Star Rail, it's Star Rail, and Zenless is Zenless. I don't think it's going to affect the spending too much. The whales are going to do what whales do, and they're going to spend on whatever the fuck they want, even if they have to get both. I'm just curious on the rollout of the game, how they're going to do it. Yeah, I put the same tweet that I put on Twitter here. Ooh, a thick cult set, huh? I'm okay with that. And then we got this, a little meme that I fit together, I'm gonna let it stay small so you can read the whole thing. Infield tomorrow. All right, guys. I think that's a good stream. It wasn't like we were gonna play Arknights or anything today. I just wanted to react to that trailer, hang out with you guys a little bit. I think the performance, Panda, is going to be perfect. I think the game's performance, with how many people have been waiting for the game, how many people already know what type of game it is and are excited for the game, I think the game's going to do fine. The only thing long term is going to be the most important aspect of this is going to be how well the story is told. And if the recent stories in Arknights translate well to Endfield in its 3D environment and everything, and they find a way for the story to be told really well, they have really good events to the likes of Lone Trail, Babel, Chapter 15. If they can do that, man, I wonder if Lowlight's meeting with Hideo Kojima. I wonder about the meeting with. I don't think it was a meeting. I'm gonna tell you what I think happened. I think at Tokyo Game Show, Kojima probably to some extent heard about, seen, or has played Arknights Endfield. When Arknights Endfield showed up at Tokyo Game Show, Kojima probably to some capacity showed up and met up with Hypergriff. Or alternatively, Hypergriff probably requested to meet up with Kojima since he was probably promoting OD in his other games. One of the two happened. And that, whichever happened, translated into, hey, do you want to come and see Kojima Productions since you're already in Japan? Probably went there. They took a nice little picture together. Because I honestly think Kojima is aware of all the inspiration, the traversal aspect of Endfield takes from Death Stranding. I think he's very aware of it. I think he's already seen it. So I don't think it's a collab. It would be cool if it's a collab, but I don't think it's a collab. I think it was more of a cosign. Yeah. An artist was there too. I don't know if it was Amiya's artist, but yeah, an artist was there too. I'm hoping. I don't care. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I just think it was more of a cosign. And I think that cosign was very important to the team. That's why all of them posted about it. Like, that wasn't just a, we're visiting the studio and then we're just going to go bounce back to China. That was shared amongst, I think it's safe to show my feed, right? Hideo Kojima tweeted it first. Did I post the other ones? No, because I didn't want to bombard the feed. How do I see the quotes? Yeah. These two. Landscape architect and producer of Arknights. I think this is Lowlight's account. And illustrator, character designer, and IP director of Arknights. This would be the one that, yeah, so both of these shared the same thing. Very, very big thing for them. Comey's here. I ain't even gonna say it. Hey, sucks for you, okay? The VOD's here. I sent a DM. You were deep into your nice little sleep, you know? I don't have any way of waking you up. Hey. Skybird, what's up, bro? At 6 a.m., little bro? You know, calls it, that I stream Arknights in the morning if I can stream it. If it's during the week, it's late at night. That's just how it go. Calls it. I did it on purpose this time, Baki. I did give a warning in the mod channel that only mods can see in my Discord. Just because you were asleep when I gave the warning, that ain't my problem. Okay? But yeah, that's oh, and there was one more thing. Has anyone seen this? Concept art from 2 years ago by an Endfield artist. Have you guys seen this? Bro, this character looks so sick. It's from a while ago. I've never seen this before. This character looks so sick. Not me? Yeah, that's long ago. Quite old. I have never seen this before. I saw this on here and I was like, what? Exastrus? No, Endfield. It's the Endfield artist. Yeah, I know. It's still really cool though, Talos. Oh man, I can't wait to play the game. I just want the game now. I'm gonna let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Thank you guys for coming through, enjoying this with me. Back then, that was fairly interesting because Leduc was pretty much radio silent, not really posting anything. Then out of nowhere, Endfield art. Yeah, I could see how that was like really. That would be really like interesting to everyone as they were waiting. Oh, and now you're gonna end it? Hey, you came at the very end, Comey. Nah, you're stuck here. Nah. See, the best thing about being the broadcaster here, you know, there's a button I can press that just kind of ends the whole thing, you know? And I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. You all have a wonderful day. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay chaotic. Call me more like late me. Oh, that's funny. Bye, Comey. Bye, chat. I will see you again soon.